Okay, Gearbest kindly sent me another quad to review, and I don't even know anything about the reviewing thing. We just get a quad sent to you, or an RC car or whatever. I don't actually know what's turning up. It turns up and then I do a review invariably. So when I saw X8, Syma, definitely sort of thing, thinking the layout's a bit different, and I'd never heard of the AMG. To me an AMG is a top of the range Mercedes car, so when I sort of looked at the box and everything, I thought, no, it doesn't seem that. It seems quite Syma-ish, very Syma looking on the actual picture, but when I actually looked at it closer, I saw that it's actually Darkstorm. Now, I've never heard of Darkstorm before, but they're certainly copying the Syma X8, even with the name. It's got some serious stuff on this. It's 120 kilometers an hour, so to me that's sort of like 80 miles an hour. That's seriously fast. FPV, automatic stabilisation, 2 or 3 cell batteries, automatic altitude hold, and one key return, etc. And you can put a 4K camera on it. It's a serious piece of kit as far as I'm concerned. So that's the cardboard out the way, and I'll have a look through the instructions in a minute. It's moulded polystyrene, which is a really good way of packing, and nothing's moved in transit. The interesting thing, as soon as I opened it up, I sort of realised these props and everything, they are not pure white, like most other quad manufacturers do. They're sort of off-white or heading towards a cream. So that's everything out of the box, and the first thing I noticed was it actually feels really solid, and they're actually brushless motors. So it doesn't say that on the box anywhere. I was totally surprised when I got it out and started really looking at it, and I think that's going to be why it sort of supposedly does 120 kilometers an hour or 80 miles an hour. So that's a serious speed. If it does do that, that would be well, impressive. To get the power to that, they provide you with 2000 milliamp hour 2-cell battery, and they give you a balanced charger, but it didn't actually say what the output of is the balanced charger. It's 7.4 volts, but I don't know how much. So how long it would take to charge this, usually 2 to 3 hours, but I would use a hobby grade charger, which I'll put a link down to in description to a video I did on them, and that's going to charge it up in just about an hour or so. So that's the way I would do it, certainly. But you've got it there if you need to, and then you've got a mains adapter for it as well. So for whatever country you're in, you'll be able to power it up and get it charged. You get 2 complete sets of props. You get exactly the same, again, mould again has come out of the Syma X8 there, and that's just pop them in on the bottom. You get all the screws, you get a little Allen key as well for stripping it down should you need to, screws for everything, nicely packaged up as well. And what you do get is, I think this is about the best Phillips screwdriver I've had with any quad. I'm just totally impressed. I've spent a lot of money on quads, expensive quads, and you still don't get a screwdriver as good as this. So again, they've sort of put a lot of effort into getting this right. Transmitter and the screwdriver in Tigger RC reviews colours, which is very kind of them, and again they must be copying me as well as copying these other fantastic manufacturers. So look forward to having a go with that. Definitely toy grade, definitely very plastic. They're both centred, so definitely altitude hold, and we'll have a good look through that in it. I've only just realised the other thing you actually get with this quad is this camera. Now, just to explain why I didn't understand it first of all, was the companies just send me a box full of stuff, and then I go through it and then review the bits that they send, obviously. And this was just in there, so I assumed there was a camera to review, but this actually comes with the price. So I'm quite interested, because it's obviously not manufactured by them, and it comes with a waterproof housing, it's Wi-Fi, everything else. So I'm really looking forward to actually using it and seeing how well it copes on the quad. Okay, so that's everything out of the camera box, and pretty impressive it is. It is a proper action cam. Comes with a case that will take you down to 30 meters apparently underwater. Gonna have a job doing that with the quad, but it's there. Like I say, this is like a completely separate thing that comes with it. So they've actually put a decent camera on rather than just a cheap one with a pinhole. Mentioning that, it looks like a really nice 170-degree lens, lovely clear, and it looks like glass to me as well. I haven't actually checked it, but I'm pretty sure it will be. It looks very similar to some other action cams I've got. It shoots at 1080p and 30 frames a second, and it's Wi-Fi. So actually, once it's mounted on the quad itself, we could be using it for FPV, I hope. So we'll give that a go later. It's got a 2-inch LCD screen, so that's rather good. And you know, it's got all your functions, all your menus and everything on it. So yeah, it's a full-on camera as opposed to what you normally get thrown in with a bundle. The charging method is through USB, and also it's got HDMI out as well, so all pretty impressive stuff, I must admit. And the actual adapter plug for the mains takes out, charges out at 2 amps, so that should be quite fast. A lot of them only put out at 1 amp sort of max, or even 500 milliamps, so that's rather good. The other thing you get in with it is another holder, cage for it on the quad itself. This obviously just comes with the camera package anyway, but you get one with the actual quad as well. And it's got the anti-vibration on it, and again, pretty good setup, I think. Full instruction manual, a couple of stickers to hold it onto like a helmet or something or other. Doesn't come with all the accessories that you can get for these, but they're really cheap. You can buy like 30 of them for a few pounds. And you've got lens cleaning cloth, and the last thing is stainless steel wire, so that you can wrap it round when you're using this in a very hazardous environment, and that will keep it all together. Okay, so battery on charge. Usual thing I do, go through the instruction manual. This one's A4 in size, nice and clear printing, but a bit confusing. Here's the front page, and then you'd think you would open it, but you don't. You come on to what I would consider the back page. Front page has a very basic call out on all the parts of the quadcopter, like propeller, aircraft fuselage, landing gear, etc. So really basic, and run through the transmitter, pointing out you need 6 AA batteries for it. It's got a weird thing here called servo value trimmer. I've never heard it called that before. I think that's a rates adjuster. And then it's not the clearest, I must admit, and if you're new to quads you might find this a little bit difficult to go through. It's obviously a generic one because it talks about cradle lean up and down, and we don't have a camera cradle that's powered on this one, so but that's fine, that's okay. I'm sure that button won't work anyway. The onto the inside, which is basically the main instructions and everything. It runs through how to assemble, which I'll do. I'll run through that as well on the review, and then the very basics of flying and setting trimming and stuff like that, but a very small amount there. If you were new and this was your first quadcopter, which I'm sure I won't be recommending it as a first quadcopter, this really wouldn't get you very far, I don't think. Runs you through all basically getting ready for flight, calibration, and then arming the quad and everything. And then there's a weird thing here about locking unlocking, because it says connecting the landing gear to the upper body and lock by screws. Well, that's actually over here with the assembly, and it's just been reprinted over there, so it wasn't actually proofed properly before it came out. But if you're new, if you've experienced in quads, you can get through it all, no problem at all. It's not the end of the world. And then it runs through all your spare parts. They're self-tightening props, and they need to go on around the right way. So what they've done is they've marked the arms with an A. And then your props, I'm hoping the camera will pick this up, you've got a B4 or an A3, basically it's the B and the A you need. So you put A's on A's and B's on B's, obviously. The threads are different, like I say, they're self-tightening, so it's a clockwise thread on the A, so you do it anti-clockwise to undo it. Now I've not come across this way of putting this bit on here, and I don't know whether that's designed, if there's a problem this will shear. I don't know, I've not come across this system before, but basically it's just a plastic sleeve that holds the prop, and it goes onto an aluminium collar there, and you get some spares of these as well, which is quite good, so I presume they do shear or whatever. The actual thread here is quite a lot smaller than my other quads that have self-tightening props, so be interested to see how it lasts. And then obviously to tighten up, just nip it down and tighten it up. You don't have to go too mad with it. And basically you can't get hold of the motor on this one to actually tighten it up, and the actual Allen key they give you, I don't know if they've part of it given this size, it actually fits in there quite well, so you can just nip that up nice and tight. And like I say, it's self-tightening anyway, so they shouldn't spin off. And you do exactly the same on the other ones. So the B prop, like I was explaining, to undo, same again, just make sure you've got a B prop on there, and then obviously to tighten you go the other way. There you go. It does come complete with prop guards, though I'm not sure how durable they're going to be if this has got as much power as they sort of give away that it does have. But if you do want to install them, you simply slide them in. There's nothing to remove, first of all, and then you get a set of screws in with the 4 of them, and you just simply screw it down into there, and that will hold it in position. Landing gear is exactly the same as the Syma as well, so you just simply pop it in there. Located in, and then the nice thing about the screwdriver is it's actually got a proper magnetic tip rather than trying to magnetise it, so it's really easy to pop these in. There we go, do that for the other 3. Again, for Syma owners out there, this will be the connection plug to your actual camera. Unfortunately, I don't know my Syma X8 anymore, so I can't actually plug mine in and test it out, but I'm pretty sure that does definitely look all wired inside. This is all peeled off purely because they'd stuck it over the on-off switch, so I can actually turn the quad on and off, so that's why mine's come off, but normally it would stay on. And just one little point, that's a real devil to get into. You really do need a screwdriver. It's just sat right down in there to get the on-off switch on, so just be warned of that. Putting the camera in, no problem at all, just simply slide into there and then it clicks into position, and to remove it you just press the button down, as you do on most of the other ones as well. On this particular model you turn the transmitter on first of all, and you get this pulsing green LED here, means that it's waiting to bind. You then plug in the quad, and normally close the battery bay door. Normally if you're going to fly it would help if you had the props on as well. I'm not going to put them on in the studio. And then you get fast flashing LEDs, goes down to slow flashing LEDs, and it's ready to bind up and down on the throttle. And now we're bound because this one's gone solid and these ones have all gone solid as well. This default is mode 2 flight mode, which means the throttle's on the left. If you wanted the throttle on the right, you can do that, but you hold this button down first and then turn the power on. You get several beeps and then it's ready to run for right-handed throttle, so that would be a mode 1 flight mode if that's the way you fly. So it does do both modes. To calibrate it, make sure the quad's on something level, because this is going to calibrate the gyros and everything. Down and left with both of them you get pulsing flashing LEDs, and then they'll stop, which means it's calibrated, and then we're ready to fly. To arm it, I thought this might arm it, lock it and unlock it here. You press that down, absolutely nothing happens at all, it just beeps at you. That's all it does, doesn't do anything. But to arm it, if you want, you simply pull these 2 down and out, and there we go. And that is the tick over. Honestly, with the props on, this thing is silent. And to turn it off, you simply pull them down and out as well, or you can do it either way. It doesn't matter what way you do it, and it works both ways. The other way of doing it, and this is this one here. Press that puts it into start, and then as soon as you move the throttle up, then it will start, it will try and lift basically. So you don't want to pull the throttle down, that will kill it. You put it up and it will go. If you don't do any actions within 3 seconds, it closes them back down again, which is quite good. The other thing to notice is if you press this kills it stone dead. So if you're losing sight of it, and you can't get it back, or it's going somewhere dangerous, you just want to drop the quad out of the sky, just hold that down for a second and it will drop, I assure you, and you can't get it back either. It just has to, it will just hit the deck basically. So be careful how you press this one. Quite difficult to press actually, so, and it's not nowhere near anything else you particularly want to press either, apart from the LEDs. You can turn the LEDs on and off with that. But that's just a simple press, so you're not going to hold that down for a second. So I think it's quite a good safety feature there. When you come into land, when you pull it all the way down and it lands, the props will stop once it's actually come down and touched on the ground. It's got an auto land here when it's flying. Obviously, you press that and it will come in and land. I don't like it actually. I don't even think I flew it and tested it properly because they just sort of bounce around a bit. I'm not impressed with them, to be honest, and I just think the quad's going to go over. I'd much rather do it manually, but if you want to, then that is it there. So running through the rest of the stuff, these are your trims, and there's loads of videos out there on how to trim a quad if it's drifting. I haven't had any drift problems with this at all. It's come factory and it's been absolutely superb. Headless mode is you press this one and it goes into headless mode, and it keeps making that noise all the while it's in headless mode. To get it out of headless mode, you have to press that button again. You get a beep beep beep, and then it comes back out, and the LEDs stop flashing. To come home, roughly where you started from, it's only a rough as well. You simply press that one, you get a beep beep beep, and you get a different beep beep beep, and then the LEDs are flashing different as well. To cancel it, you can either press this button again or just use the direction one, and that will stop it automatically. So once it's coming towards you, then I would always turn it off. This button doesn't actually do anything. Normally it would do a flip, but it doesn't do anything when it's in flight as far as I can see at all. These two buttons don't do anything either, and these buttons don't either. I think if you've got a different model, these will operate different things. And this one here changes the rate. So basically it starts in low rates, press it and it goes into intermediate rates, and press it again, it goes into high rates.
Crikey, that is the lowest tick over I've ever seen. Sorry, I'm really shocked that's even going to take off. I reckon. God, that shows how well it holds for altitude hold, doesn't it? That is super smooth. That looks pretty stable though. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any vibration with that. Actually, its descent is very nice and smooth. Is that really going to do 75 miles an hour? I don't think so. Well, we've still not got flashing LEDs. I tell you what, I'm impressed with this. Now we've got flashing LEDs. Yay, look at that.